Welcome to the Season 1 recap of Kleo. In 1987, Kleo Jennifer Straub, an Eastern German Stasi agent, kills an unknown man during a mission in a West Berlin nightclub called Big Eden. Sven Petzold, a police officer, witnesses the murder and reports it, only to be ignored while the case is quietly shelved. In May 1990, Kleo is freed as a part of general amnesty granted by the GDR after the fall of the Berlin Wall. She then proceeds to kill the judge who ordered her imprisonment and find clues as to why. She later visits Otto's house and plays his testimony on a tape player. Sven rediscovers the cold case file involving Kleo, while in Chile, two unknown men exchange a red briefcase with one of them insisting it to be hidden from Kleo. Using a false identity, Kleo tracks Andy and is met at his apartment by his pregnant spouse, Anja. Andy claims Ludger, their commanding officer, is responsible for Cleo's betrayal and tells her that he had died in a car crash. Kleo later notices Sven's business card in Thilo's pants and visits the Petzold household, threatening Sven to not interfere. Meanwhile, Yui Mittag, one of Kleo's comrades during the Big Eden assassination, is given the order to assassinate Kleo, to which he complies. Kleo travels to Mallorca and starts to inquire about Witzorag's activities, later discovering that he has assumed a new identity. Kleo, however, manages to overpower Belov before forcing him to leak information regarding Witzorag's dealings with him and make a deal with her. Meanwhile, Sven figures out Kleo's whereabouts and flees to Mallorca under the pretense of police work, tracking Kleo's activities. Kleo later kills Ludger with a bomb in front of his wife before crashing out Gabriella's bank account. Yui later arrives at Ludger's residence and shoots Gabriella. Belov later makes an anonymous report to the BND implicating Kleo. In despair, Kleo meets with Andy before telling him she killed her grandfather. Andy, who is infuriated by Milk's assassination, soothes her and tries to convince her to go in hiding, which she refuses. Andy then visits Yui and authorizes him to eliminate Kleo. Kleo rushes to Sven's garage and narrowly prevents him from being killed by her booby trap in exchange for his help. Later, Kleo is visited by Anne, who was expecting his grandfather to answer. Kleo welcomes her but later discovers her BND card. Kleo then questions Anne's connection to Otto before Anne abruptly leaves the house. Yui visits Otto's house at night, failing to kill Kleo before taking Thilo away as a hostage. Kleo eventually frees Thilo with Andy's help before approaching Sven for information. However, Andy unsuccessfully tries to kill her with a sniper rifle. Kleo then flees before being shot by Yui. As Yui is about to finish her off, a gunshot noise occurs as the screen fades to black. Sven shoots Yui just as he is about to kill Kleo, who becomes unconscious from her wounds. While unconscious, Kleo reminisces her childhood under the care of her mother, Bridget, alongside Otto. Otto eventually enrolls her in a FDJ school, which she develops a long romantic relationship with her childhood friend, Holger, before Otto orders her to cut ties with him for being a class enemy. Kleo, however, soon finds the briefcase, but finds out that someone else has swapped its contents. Sven later notices Andy in Kleo's photo, naming him as Yui's accomplice he saw earlier to Kleo's surprise. Kleo and Sven barge into Andy's apartment, with Kleo shooting Andy in the shoulder. Andy then proceeds to tell Kleo that the red briefcase contains several classified documents and Matthias had attempted to sell its contents to the BND. Andy also tells her that Frey's efforts failed when a double agent reported him to the GDR beforehand, with the GDR sending Kleo to assassinate him in response. Minutes later enters Anne's house and discovers her body and CCTV footage of Anne's altercation with Kleo and Sven. Meanwhile, Ramona, who is also in Santiago, receives the red briefcase coordinates from Margot along with orders to kill Kleo. Kleo and Sven arrive at Santiago and go to Jorge's house only to be told that he is dead. Kleo, however, sees through the ruse and finds Jorge. Kleo demands the location of the briefcase but is strangled by his aide Carmen as he escapes. In the epilogue, Min, who had swapped the briefcase with an identical one containing toilet paper while Margot was in transit, exchanges the briefcase with a CIA agent while Ramona breastfeeds her newborn baby by the roadside in Chile. In Berlin, Yui is shown to have survived and plots his revenge. Thank you for watching the recap, and if you liked it, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.